Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is John, your resident Millennial. John, how are you doing tonight?
Fan fucking tastic, of course. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
All right, good. Good to
Did you
hear.
did you get that Stream Link thing figured out
I did, yes.
that I tried to
Yes,
screw up
yes.
on?
Yep. Despite your best efforts, I overcame insurmountable odds.
Insurmountable. I like it when you do
Insurmountable.
that.
Yeah. But I surmounted them, indeed.
It's crazy how you do that.
Yeah. Just fucking amazing like that.
It's like a superpower you have.
Yes.
So, how's your week been going, John? It's been good. It's been wonderful. Been exciting.
I suppose so. Yeah. I mean, I finished world building for the book that I'm writing, so that's a good step towards actually writing it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing. Is this does this have anything to do with that I don't want to give any spoilers. That map I was looking at.
Yes, yeah, that's the map of the continent that it takes place on.
So
Indeed.
is this an ambitious project for you, John, or is this just hobby level stuff?
Um, I mean, I'm gonna see where it goes. I don't know. Probably end up just like self-publishing on Amazon and letting other people decide whether or not it should be ambitious.
Right. It's definitely about being ambitious or not. Hey,
Yeah.
folks, if you're just joining us, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and all those other little clicky things that you got to do. We are, I think we're coming through on all channels at this point. D
I
Live
see us on
finally is
YouTube.
working again, right?
Indeed.
So thank goodness.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Um, so you've not been sick or anything, John? I hear you cough. What was that? A cough? Should I be concerned?
I'm always coughing though. No, I do feel a little sick. I probably have the Corona AIDS.
The Corona AIDS.
Yeah, but it could just be the changing of the season. Who knows? We'll see.
As the season, you know, we've had three season changes in the last month. I think,
Yeah, I know.
from what I can tell, the plants outside are so confused right now. It's not even funny. But
It's a little funny.
well, I mean, not to the plants because they're like, should I be out? Should I be in? Wait, it's getting cold again. I just came out. This is not. No. Do I bloom? Do I not bloom? Butterflies are laying eggs. Eggs are hatching. You got caterpillars running around. They're like, oh, this is. Not, oh shit! It's cold as hell. You know? But yeah, because it's a little. Are you a little chilly up there in your neck of the woods tonight? Right? A little bit
Oh
still.
yeah, it's actually a little chilly out. I don't know why we're talking about the weather at the beginning of the show, but hey, we've
Well,
got
you know,
RRC here, man. What's up? What's up,
it's
fellas?
a polite thing to do in conversation. Talk about
I
the
guess
weather.
so. If we're standing in an elevator, yeah, but if we're trying to have a show,
Well, you know, if you had anything interesting to talk about, you know, it would be a whole different thing. But
I tried,
do you?
but I
Do you?
try.
Well,
Yeah,
did nothing
things that
happen?
I'm interested in, most other people aren't.
Did
So
you did
I
you?
try to abstain from that.
I think you just had a guest appearance somewhere, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Did it?
on Stephen Ignoramus's channel talking about Sinn Féin's victory in the Irish general election. That was a
Yeah,
fun one.
you were all pumped up there. You're all pumped
I
up,
was.
excited, and I don't know.
That's right.
I don't. Yeah, yeah. You love that whole Irish thing, but you know, it's
I
home for
do.
it's pseudo home. Is it? Would you say pseudo
Yeah.
home?
Yep.
So
They. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, would you leave America to move to Ireland for good?
Not as it stands right now. Not in the position that it's in. It's like I think it's the third most expensive country to live in the West
Wow,
right now. It's fucking ridiculous.
that sounds like fun. Lots of fun, right?
Yeah.
It gives a whole new spin to going down to the pub to get a pint, right?
Yeah, especially if a pint's gonna cost you like €12.
Damn, that's like $15 American or
It's
18.
something like that. Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Shit's ridiculous.
Shit, I was looking at I've been looking at computers, and so I was shopping around and I was looking on this site and I'm like, oh, that's a really good price. And then it dawned on me that I wasn't noticing right in front of it. It said GBP, so it was giving me a number in Great Britain, British
New
pounds,
British
and I looked
pounds,
down and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, that's that's different. That's a difference.
Yeah. I actually just bought something from Ireland. It should be here in a week or so, maybe a little bit more. But like yeah, it was 29.95 in euros, and what I was charged because I can see what my card is charged on. It was like $33 and some change. So like it was a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, you got to buy Canadian. You got to flip the script.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have $30 in Canadian money, and you
Are
can
they all toonies and loonies?
I don't know what they're called. I don't
The,
keep up with
the,
that.
the little coins are $1 and $2
No,
coins, or
no, no, no. These are bills. Got some old lady's face on them.
that's some dried up old cunt's face on them.
I didn't say that, sir. I said
I'm
some old
saying that.
lady. But
I'm
anyway,
saying that.
anyway, yeah, I've watched it over the year. I've had it for quite some time because exchanging money seems to be one of the most difficult things to do anymore. But sure enough, I've watched it over the last 4 or 5 years, and it just fluctuates from like 25 to $27 American money, and I'm like, just come on, you got to do better. Come on, Canada, pick it up, pick it up. You know,
Yeah.
if you're all that, pick up the pace. I want my $30 worth.
Right? Like yeah, I want to at least break even exchanging it.
Yeah, come on,
Then you got to pay a fee to exchange the currency too.
exactly. But then again,
So
I you know I've looked around. Banks don't like to transact foreign money anymore.
even Canadian?
Even Canadian, they don't because they
Wow.
have to fill. You got to fill out all these forms. It's
Oh, I
just
can see
like
that.
it's not
Fuck
like.
that.
So I think like the only place I can think of, there's one place, and it's the mall, the big mall
Yeah.
down south side. That mall, they'll exchange foreign currency.
Yeah, I think the one in Sanford does as well.
Oh, it might because you're close to the airport there in
Yeah.
Sanford.
The
Well,
international airport's right there.
they're close to a
Yeah.
smaller international airport,
Right. Not the Orlando International Airport.
which I don't think you can get it done there. Actually, surprisingly enough, I don't. Well, they might. I would think they
I'm
would
sure they
have to
do
have some
somewhere.
somewhere. It's got to be in there.
They have to because we
But
have like foreign people coming in all the time.
but how often am I going to the airport? And I'm certainly not going to spend $5 to go to the airport to get.
I think when I've been there, I've seen it, but I'm not like it's not something that I cared about because I haven't traveled internationally, so I didn't really care. But I'm sure it's there.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I would think OIA. It just depends on if you have access to it without a plane ticket.
Oh yeah, I don't
You
know. I don't know
you
if you
can't get
can.
past sensitive areas anymore. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
be
you can't
secure.
walk right up to the gate anymore.
So, yeah. I Speaking of airports, like a lot of flights are starting to be restricted. I was going to ask you this: if things are where they stand are truly where they stand, and we've got the WHO and we've got the CDC, and they're saying that this is like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when now, right? It's like this is going to happen. Um, so should we start restricting international flights, if not stopping them altogether, and then start chartering Americans back into quarantine from other countries that are infected?
I mean, from certain areas or to certain areas, yeah, I would say that's fair.
I think it's just too much loose cannon with how this thing is spreading, and how it's spreading within countries. You've got to think about countries like now we've got to worry about Italy, we've got to worry about South Korea, we've
Yeah,
got to worry about places where we're normally traveling to, and now all of a sudden, okay, we need to rethink traveling to those countries. It's going to spread to more countries. I'm I'm wondering if we shouldn't this is not an opportunity to put a moratorium on international travel for the time being, and just go ahead and lock the doors now before shit gets out of hand. And we could,
yeah.
like I said, we can send flights in to pick up American citizens that want to get out of those countries specifically and bring them back home into quarantined areas depending on the level of infection from where they're coming.
So I'll say it like this: I I can think of a lot worse things to waste money on. It wouldn't be the biggest deal to me if we spent money on that.
I think it would be a smart use of $2.5 billion dollars if all you're having to worry about is chartering airline flights because
Yeah,
the planes are going to be available. You make money available to the airlines to get through this. Yes, you're going to have to subsidize the travel industry. You're going to have to subsidize airlines that are chartering flights to pick up these people. But we've got
yeah,
to, I think we need to stop travel into this country from foreign countries at the moment. Well ahead of this. I understand it'll have an economic impact, but we're already
yeah,
seeing an economic impact. And as I said,
yeah.
our
But
time.
the thing is, doing that would cause an even further economic impact.
Sure, it's going to happen. But if we have a president that stands before the American people and say, "Look, we've got to get through this. We can be careful with products that are being shipped in and how they're being brought in. But when it
Yeah,
comes to people, we've got, if a country has not had an outbreak in that country, then so be it. We can allow travel to those countries. But if there's been an outbreak in a country, I don't just because the outbreak is, for instance, Wuhan is the epicenter of the outbreak in China.
yeah,
I don't necessarily want people coming from other areas in China because how fast did they squash travel
right,
within cities, and what are they telling us and not telling us? So,
right,
um, but it would be a perfect opportunity to really get a handle on immigration at the same time.
yeah.
It would be the perfect window, wouldn't it? To just shut down and go, okay, we need to be on a talk basis with the rest of the world right now and not be there. Not
Yeah,
traveling to and from. Nobody's coming in right now unless you very specifically, can prove that it's safe for you to come in.
which I mean, I don't know much about like how you would do that, but
Well,
yeah,
it's gonna it would take the federal government stepping in, the F,
yeah.
the Federal Aviation Commission. But now, let me ask you this: would that be government overreach? Is that too
No,
much of a
no, that's exactly what they're supposed to do.
so
That's one of the very few things that falls under federal purview.
is to protect the citizenry from itself for the most part because
Well, no, I'm saying from, like foreign travelers coming with the disease. That definitely falls within
doesn't.
government
I
purview,
guess
yeah.
that's where I need clarification because I understand from a standpoint of malicious intent,
Right,
stopping individuals, but this would not be that. This is a public.
right.
So from a libertarian standpoint, you're okay with the government taking over in a world health
When it
crisis.
comes to, yeah, when it comes to who's allowed in, borders, all that kind of stuff, that absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
What about shutting? What about the impact of the airlines? Does that that's going to require that the government
I
subsidize
mean,
those airlines for that loss?
I mean,
You've
yeah,
got to.
so right, right. So it doesn't, it obviously doesn't require that, right? I think that was a poor word to use. But whether or not, because the government is stopping them from working. I mean, obviously, I don't like subsidies, and I would get it, and I wouldn't be mad at it. But on principle, I wouldn't agree with it.
I guess you're right. Required was the not necessarily the right. Required from an expectation standpoint. I mean,
Right? Yeah, it would
not
be
on,
expected for sure.
not only the airline industry would have an expectation that you would do that as a government if you're stopping that level of travel.
Well,
If
yeah,
you're
you're stopping them from being able to conduct business.
sure, and
Yeah.
even a lot of the general public would be like, yeah, it's right for you to give them money to
Right.
subsidize them for 30 days or 60 days, whatever you're initially starting with.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
um, so I don't know. What do you? So, what about this? The idea that there's the gentleman, and I forget his name. I'd have to pull the article up, and I don't have the link handy. But he's advised multiple presidents, six different presidents, on these kind of situations. Whether it's SARS, Ebola, et cetera, et cetera. But he's not allowed to speak unless he's got the administration's go
Mhm.
ahead now. There was an article about that. So, you know, where it, how much of a level of transparency from a libertarian standpoint are you willing to allow in a situation like this?
I mean, obviously, I would prefer to know. You know,
Right.
I don't know if he signed some sort of NDA or
Well,
I don't know what the issue is.
I think it falls under classified information standing. I
Mm,
mean, it's going to fall under
yeah.
that. Yeah,
So I
that's
can I
part
can
of it.
see the point that they don't want to start a panic, and I think that's important. Um, but at the same time, I think we should know, especially if there's precautions that should be being taken, before it's too late. When they finally come out and say, "Oh, hey guys, by the way, you probably should have been preparing for this for like 6 months now. We just didn't want to panic you." You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather
Right.
be prepared and have nothing happen than for something to happen and not be prepared.
Right. There's an interesting take that I thought about with this because there was a little bit of a conversation about this in the Discord chat. Um, is this idea that there are some of us who are, uh, whether you want to call it intellectual enough, mature enough, or not short-sighted enough to handle the information, handle the truth of the situation, right? People that would handle the information responsibly and say, okay, this is what needs to be done from the standpoint of a citizen. Versus the part of the populace that's just going to go haywire and lose their shit in some way or another, that causes that panic that they don't want by sharing
Hmm.
too much information. So it's like, okay, how do you get the information to the intelligent, responsible people that can handle it in the populace and keep it from
Right.
those who
Well,
can't handle the truth?
this is one of the biggest problems, especially with having a large population, is that you always have to pander, not pander, but you always have to at least consider the lowest common denominator.
Right.
So if you don't want people to panic, well, you have to not get the information to anyone who's going to panic, which means not giving the information to anyone.
Right.
You don't know who those people are, and a lot of the times those people don't know whether or not they're that person until the time comes. So I mean, so again, I see what they're doing, but I would rather know.
Um, yeah. So that's what it runs into is I have this difficulty with walking that fine line between, okay, you're squashing information, it's the information is so transparent now that, like, the lack of giving information is sensationalized. Whereas used to it was just like you didn't hear about it.
Right,
If they didn't want you to hear about it, you just didn't hear about it, and so you just didn't know about it till somehow the whistle got blown or the lid got popped off the top of it or
right.
something. You know, but now it's like, okay, when you're literally squashing it, even that
Yeah.
part is getting put out there because all of your actions are being watched. Big Brother is not the friend of government. When you know, so that it's
Well, it's not Big Brother, right? Big Brother is obviously the government.
well,
It's
yeah,
the people. It's the people who
lowercase Big
pay
Brother.
attention. Little
I'm
brother.
lowercase Big Brother, right?
No, I mean it's just observant people. It's just people who give a shit
Right.
are going to put that information out there.
Sure.
And in the day of the internet, there's nothing you can do to keep things secret for very long.
Right. And that's why it amazes me why anybody tries to keep anything secret. And it points to a lot of things. It points to, okay, now it becomes more obvious that when truth does come out of Washington, a lot of times you have to assume that it was leaked. It was, intentionally leaked by one side or the other, trying to
Right.
put some, whatever, controlling the narrative, as it were. But so, I don't know. But I think this is a tricky situation. This is a tricky case. I mean, you openly say, okay, well, this guy can't talk without the administration's approval. Everybody sees it. Now you've got a populace that's like, hey, what the fuck? Because those same people that would panic at the information are the people sitting around going, but I need to know. I got a right to know. I got my rights. I got rights. You got to tell me. You got to tell me.
Yeah.
That's they take that tact. So one way or the other is a losing proposition. So isn't it a day and age where you just might as well be transparent in a situation like this? Be honest, be transparent, and say, okay, you know what? Let's not get too flipped out. Some people have died, not here. We've got a handle on what's going on here. We have steps that we can implement to make that happen. Otherwise, be clean, be hygienic, and go about your fucking daily lives.
Yeah.
You know, I don't love the spin that's being put on it from the very tippy top when everybody, this I don't like seeing the narrative colliding, as it were. It's like, okay, you know what? There's too much freedom of information out there for you to try and like blow smoke up our ass, sir. But I don't know. We haven't had anything here in Florida. So I'm like, okay, so that's nothing's that close to home yet. The closest
There
we've
was like a hoax one, wasn't there, from the airport
oh, I don't know.
to Orlando Airport? Yeah, I think some woman had said she had it
some
for something, and then I forget what the story was
I know what you're talking
exactly.
about.
Because what was yeah, as soon as I was like, oh, it's fake, okay, and then I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. If it got debunked that quickly, yeah, I probably didn't pick up on it because I mean, there's not much else to look at in the news these days. I've got no impeachment. That series ended, so I don't have
yeah,
that to watch.
that season of America is over
Right.
now. Yeah.
The only thing I've got is the debates and the Democratic
Dude,
primaries and
I
stuff.
didn't
But
even know that debate was going on until like an
oh
hour
my
before.
God, that snuck up, didn't it?
Right, I was like, what? There's another one? Like, didn't we just have one
Shit,
last week?
right? But they had to get another one in before Super Tuesday.
Is
Um,
that this weekend? Or
that's
this
this
Tuesday?
Tuesday. It's Super Tuesday, yeah. So,
Okay,
um, but
good
yeah,
for
that
them.
was an interesting debate because I went ahead and went back and watched the whole thing, and
I didn't bother.
it was interesting from the standpoint that Bernie was like, at one point he's like, "Y'all sure are talking a lot about me." What does that say? you know,
Yeah.
So he was just. I mean, Bernie had his shit
Goddamn.
together. I think he had his shit together. Was ready for that one. He was coming off a roll from the last one. He just kept on going. But they were just all just. God damn! I'm like, this sounds exactly like the other debate, only with Steyer in the mix because he made the stage this time.
I'm sorry, who?
Steyer,
Yeah, I know.
the other rich guy.
I know. I was just doing the whole, who
And
the
they say
fuck, who cares about fucking Steyer? Why does he keep trying?
apparently they were expecting him to do pretty strong in South Carolina. I haven't looked back to see
Why is he
how
some guy there? Is he like
apparent
something there?
apparently he speaks to the natives there. The or yeah, the people of
South
South Carolina,
Carolinians.
South Carolinians, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them.
they're South Carolinians.
So
I
it's
used to
like
be one of those.
I think whenever they had the debate, he was pulling like a close third, uh, and it's like okay, why? Because you haven't been on the stage for a little bit. you know?
Right.
Are you
It
pulling?
must
Are you
be
pulling a Yang?
right. Oh yeah, speaking of that, wasn't he sitting next to the moderators or something like that? No, he was doing some kind of CNN panel or something, or
They were
MSNBC or one of those things.
they talked to all of them as they after
Yeah,
the
let me look up
after the
Steyer real
debate.
quick.
Yeah, they talked to all of them after the debate, and they had them all sit down with the
Well, no, I mean like
CBS. It was
after he
CBS or
dropped out. I mean like after he dropped out though, he
wait, dropped out of what?
the presidential race.
Did he drop out? Did I miss
Yeah,
that?
he's been dropped out. No, you didn't.
He was
You
just
said
he was just in a
you said it
debate
was
this
suspended.
week.
Wait, he was? I thought
Yeah,
he dropped out completely. Oh
no,
fuck.
he was just in a debate this week.
What the fuck? All right, fair enough.
Oh wait, are we talking about the same debate?
I guess not. Talking
Because I know there was
about the one that just happened
yeah
like the other
this
day.
yeah that was in South Carolina, and Steyer was in that one.
No, no, no. I mean Yang.
Oh, Yang, no, Yang. I was just saying, is Steyer pulling a Yang where he was out for one or so debates and now he's back for one?
Right.
Is he going to drop out now and this is going to be his last debate? After, it just depends on Super Tuesday, I guess. But no, that's what I say. Is he pulling a Yang? Because he was out of the debate circuit for a moment and then he popped back up in this one because he made a big enough cut in the state.
Huh. Um. Oh, home state of California. So he's not even from South Carolina. So why would
Who's
they give a shit about him?
Uh,
Steyer.
because they're the biggest thing about South Carolina is they're targeting the black vote. That is all they could talk
That's fair
about was the
enough. Yeah.
black vote, the black vote, the black vote. And I'm like, you know
That's
what?
fair enough for the Democrats.
You know what though?
Yeah.
I that was what I took away from that debate. That I was just so fucking tired. I was like, you know what? Those are goddamn American votes. That's what those are. They're not black votes. They're American votes.
Oh shit, J. Edgar, what's up, bro? He said you
Uh,
suck, you jackass.
who?
Yeah,
Which one? Or wait, one of us sucks and the other's a jackass? I don't
I
know.
suppose. Well, I guess we can figure that out amongst ourselves. I call jackass though.
Oh, come on. I'm tired of suck.
No,
I'm tired of sucking, John.
but you're so good at it.
My jaw hurts. Uh, but yeah, so yeah, but that was the thing. It's like they just kept talking about it. Oh, how I'm popular with the black voters.
With
I'm
the
popular
blacks.
with the black voters. I'm popular with black voters. And I'm like, I, what the fuck, you people? Do you not hear yourselves? This entire conversation is one of the most racist conversations I've ever heard.
Yep.
It's like, you know what? You know
And
what?
people laugh when you say Democrats are actually racist, but they're like, no, no, we only want to, enslave the blacks. It's fine.
I don't
Fucking
know.
ridiculous.
They
I mean, they
just,
really, they want to enslave everybody, but
well,
gotta start with the blacks, I guess.
but
According to
they want to enslave you in a very giving way.
them. Yeah, I mean, like slaveholders in before the Civil War, they were responsible for housing and feeding their slaves. I mean, just saying.
You'll still have
There was 0% unemployment.
you'll still have a job,
You know,
John, and you'll make good money.
exactly, exactly.
Keep them hooked on that sweet welfare.
And they'll
Yeah.
never vote for anyone again. Absolutely.
But I'm telling you right now, unless I mean, and the DNC is literally, in my opinion, going to have to pull the most upfront, fuck Bernie up the ass move. I think Bernie Sanders has got a lock on this. He, he's got the talk, man, and he's talking the talk that's speaking to so many people. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to talk the talk to the people that don't think they're making enough money, that are making minimum wage in low wage states. Boom, he's talking to you. You want to talk to people that don't have insurance. Yeah, boom, he's talking to you. You want to talk
Yeah.
to people that don't want to be in jail for just a petty weed possession. Boom, he's talking to you.
Yeah.
You want legalized weed. Boom, he's talking to you. You he's talking to all of these people at one time.
Yeah.
I thought Andrew Yang might have a lock on it, just saying here everybody gets $1,000. But what Bernie's talking is to the tune of a lot more than $1,000
Oh yeah.
to a lot of people. It just sounds like, and not to mention putting billionaires out to pasture. That money's got to go somewhere so they all see it racing to them. Now, is
hmm
any of this going to come to pass?
Probably not.
If if Bernie's gonna get the primary, if they see the writing on the wall, it's going to be a slam dunk that Republicans are going to take the House and the Senate.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a mad rush to get Republicans elected. Um, and then then everything's just going to go into lockdown for most of the time. We'll see what the executive pen can do then. Um, but I think he's got the lock on it. The, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously gonna. There's gonna be some more fuckery along the way. I don't know if you've noticed, but they haven't done it since Iowa. I mean, there's been the whole, the Twitter rampages of, fuck Bernie, and I can't believe anyone would actually like him, and all this kind of stuff. But other than that, like, there hasn't been too much Bernie fuckery since Iowa. So I think they're kind of like laying low, letting the process roll out a little bit, and then they're just gonna fuck him. And it sucks because I don't want to defend Bernie. I don't want to sit here on the show and as a libertarian defending a socialist, but what's being done to him is
It's
wrong.
well, and that's
And
just
I mean,
it.
not only that, but he's running a legitimately good campaign.
Yes,
Not one that I agree with again, but he's
right.
as far as campaigns go, he's running a good campaign.
Well, it's it's an election. It's a campaign. It's an election. It's a process in this country that should not be manipulated and corrupted. And when you see it happening, you see it happening in one election. You see it blatantly done, or not blatantly done, but you see it from behind the scenes, and it looks very blatant. And now actually just blatantly doing it, attempting to. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. I don't care who you're in support of, but it is this kind of thing that's going to it feeds this fire that I've seen. I've seen two or three different people talk about this, whether in an article and also, of course, the conversation has been had multiple times on the Bill Maher show about him not leaving office as he's supposed to, by tying up the election process by if he doesn't win, um, you know that he can
Hmm.
tie it up and prevent someone from coming into the White House until however many months it takes to get it sorted out,
God damn.
right?
And then
So
more taxpayer fucking money going to
right,
some sham.
right, and so
Damn it.
it's like okay, and I don't see Bernie doing that, but I see Trump doing it, and
Yeah,
that's a
Bernie's too much
problem.
of a cuck. He wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, he respects the process. If he
No, he's too much
legitimately,
of a cuck.
oh, you think he's gonna, I mean, now if it goes like the way of the Clinton, the popular vote versus the electoral vote, yeah, he's gonna raise a stink, right? But I know Bernie's not gonna.
I doubt it. He didn't raise a stink last time. He was just like, "Oh yeah, Hillary's the one. Yay, Hillary!"
Well, yeah,
Even though she fucked me,
you would think
like right up.
he would be more outspoken about it. You would think he'd
You
be
would.
more outspoken about
You would think he would have either joined the Social Democrats or, started his own political party.
it. Maybe he has. Are you feeling the burn? Are you feeling the burn?
I mean, yeah, they just started the Progressive Party. They would get all those people under one banner, and that would help them out a lot. You would also see how very few of them there actually are, though. But
So
I mean, I think it would help them at least get like a cohesive message together and not have to deal with the DNC fuckery.
right. So at this point, just doing a check-in, who's got your vote at this point in the presidential election for 2020?
Right. And I am being completely serious. It's not a joke. At the moment, it is Vermin Supreme.
Is Vermin Supreme actually running for president?
Yes. Yes.
A legitimate
Like I
campaign.
said, yes. Yes. He's actually, I think he's third place in the Libertarian, nomination or primaries, whatever it is.
Really?
Yeah. He's actually getting really popular.
Okay, and clarify for me. Is this a troll run or is this someone with actual
No,
policy mindset?
no, he actually does have a policy mindset. Now he does troll constantly. That's how he gets attention. But when he takes the Wellington boot off his head, and actually like speaks, actual policy and positions, he's spot on libertarian, man. When he drops the whole Pony Act and all that kind of stuff.
So I challenge you with getting him to come on some low level, no
I tried. I did
nonsensical.
try.
Try again.
I will. Yeah.
So now when you say the third place in the libertarian field, is that nationwide?
Mhm. Yeah. He got more votes than so far, or more answers in the poll, I think, or whatever, than our buddy Keenan Wallace Dunham. He's doing better than he is,
So
for sure.
Ed says he'll take Bernie seriously if he comes up with an actual solution for all those billionaires these billionaires he claims are responsible for all of society's woes. Perhaps a solution with some finality, perhaps involving some trains and a certain type of what's the word camp. Oh my!
Certain
To be
type of
fair,
camp.
this
Oh, you know what? No, it's a camp that we send them to, right? For like 2 weeks or something, so they can learn how to like concentrate and like you know
maybe some sort
be good
of
people.
re-education, as it were.
Yeah, they could go learn how to concentrate and be re-educated and
I learn
become normal members of
the
society
best
again.
way to think.
Right, the
Um,
proper way to think.
we could I know we could put the big retailer. We could put WM into running that place, and they could teach the one best way.
That's right.
The one best way.
Indeed.
Now, see that would make an awesome present day Big Brother book title. The one best way,
It does sound like Newspeak.
right?
They talked like that in 1984. You'd be like, double plus good, and like shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I might have to make a note of that. Excuse me while I get my notepad. I remember the good old days writing notes down in a book.
Yeah, I used to have composition notebooks like filled with shit,
Yeah.
filled with like short stories or shitty cringy poetry and like fucking just like joke ideas or you know ideas for anything really. Because you get like 27 of them for a nickel. It was great.
Oh, that's
I used to
nice.
fill those bitches up.
He's actually being serious about it. Oh, to be fair, the Trump candidacy was a troll run, and yes, it was. He well,
Well, I think everyone expected it to be a troll run. I don't think
well,
he was trolling
he had honestly been talking about running for president, and he did.
since like the 90s.
He mentioned it a few times on The Apprentice here and there. He would drop that in there, drop that in there. He had intentions to run for it.
Yeah.
I just think he had to. I'll be honest with you. I think Obama put the steam in his sails
Yeah.
when they had that whole back and forth. He was legitimizing himself as a person who was capable of having dialogue with a president.
Hmm.
He used Obama's 2 terms to groom himself for making that run in 2016, I think.
Sure.
In my honest opinion. Plus, he was, if he ran for the Republican Party, he would be able to spin off a Democratic, presidency. People like to see a change after 8 years. Even people who've been, even some Democrats were like, maybe we could move to something a little bit right leaning this time around.
I don't think that's
Kind
the
of.
case, but
Well, you have that wishy-washy center that, some years they're voting right, some they're voting left. They're a little more liberal this year than they were last time around. It's
yeah.
you have that middle. That's why you have these states that are swing states. You never know how they're going to go, right? Who's talking the right game, who's doing this, that, and
Yeah.
the other. Or what kind of presidency are we coming off of? I think that has a huge impact on who's going to get elected. Typically the incumbent president wins, but right now that is thoroughly up in the air. as to whether this incumbent president can actually take the win. Yes, I know a lot of people see the writing on the wall. Trump's going to get it, but is the writing on the wall? We don't know because it seems to be a swing country at this point. We don't know from day to day what can of worms is going to open up and cause
Yeah.
us to swing our decision making one way or the other. I mean, because even you, I think, over the last, I mean, have you not wavered back and forth somewhat in like, whether or not you want to put your support behind Donald Trump for
Yeah,
another
I absolutely
president?
have. Like, because I don't want to, but I feel like I'm being forced to, which makes me not want to even more. Because as soon as someone's like, "Oh, well, you have to do this," then that makes me want to do it even less.
Right.
And but obviously that's me telling myself, my own thought process, like, "Oh man, if I don't do that, if I give my vote to a third party, then that's one less vote against the Democrats." But at the same time, that's a shitty mentality to have. So I should just vote, third party, and it goes back and forth like that all the time.
Well, it's it's again it runs into that mindset of is there is having a third party candidate that has enough steam and enough power to actually get enough votes behind them. Um, it's that's the trick to where people like me look at it and go, okay, I can send a vote to that third party, but I know in reality there's not a chance in hell or high water that that person is going to win this election because you watch and you see the writing on the wall. This is going to be
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
Republican or Democratic election.
Hmm.
No one's out there making the noise that needs to be going on. So you're caught in that, and you say, okay, well then now I need to determine which of these two people gets my vote because I don't want either one of them. And then you follow that path. Okay, do I vote for my party or do I vote for the person that the lesser of the two evils, so that
Right.
the most
Which
evil
I
does
hate
not
that
get a.
mentality. I absolutely just abhor that.
But you're
And
forced into it.
right,
I mean,
exactly. And
especially
that makes me hate it even more that I'm forced into it.
especially knowing how crucial. I don't think people truly realize how crucial their vote is because they look at it at this idea that there's votes being cast all over the country, so they're
Yeah.
one of these millions and millions of people. No, 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 no. What you need to understand is your vote is crucial because it's determining how many votes are coming out of your state. you
Not
know
only that, your county.
your county, your state.
Yeah.
You build up, it comes down to this very close community level to where it's like, okay, you can make that much of a difference with that one
Right.
vote. They don't teach that in the campaigns. They don't really push that point to people that, look, this is why your vote counts because that's the only way to affect the electoral college. That's what's
Yeah.
that's what they don't play to. And it's I think we've seen from the past. You can't just rely. You can't expect that having the popular vote is going to matter. It's not going to matter. The popular vote has not won for anybody recently. It's not going to win for anybody anytime soon. All right. Um,
Yeah.
but no, I think that we have to consider the repercussions of this election and what it's going to do to the way we vote. Ed says that Bernie Sanders has a lot more in common with Uncle Adolf than you'd think, and it's eerie. Rework the economy, one class of people responsible for the woes of all society. Yeah,
Well, that's the
it's
thing about both the very far left and the very far right at the same time. Both authoritarian left, I should say, and the authoritarian right,
right.
is that they're extremely similar. The main difference being who the boogeyman is. For one side, it's race. The other side, it's class. That's really the only real difference.
Because they say, because of course it goes into that mindset that it's not a flat line spectrum. Politics
It's
are a
the
full,
horseshoe theory.
the
Yeah.
horseshoe, the almost connected circle, and it's not a far leap to go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
It's just a slight difference in your ideological action. Um,
Yeah.
but and that's yeah, it's that's what other
And I also should specify, I'm talking about economic, not necessarily socially. Obviously, they're different there,
sure.
but because one, wants to force you to have, family values and everything. The other side wants to abolish the family. So there's differences socially, but I mean economically, there's no difference between the two.
What if, if we did this instead of and this will address a lot of issues because we have a lot of campaign finance issues and the money that goes into all of this. Okay, we again we use the government's power to take over small chunks of airtime for presidential candidates, right? And they're all broken up and allotted out over the course of a week, whatever, in markets, however you want to. We could figure that out. It's just math can do that, and
Hmm.
so it's paid for. It could be paid for by the government, or it could be from the political campaign. Well, I want to avoid getting big donations and stuff out of there, so I would think it would need to be free airtime, and we use the FCC for that. But anyway, but it's like 90-second spots with the candidates explaining about politics. Okay, so Bernie has to get on and do a 90-second spot where he talks about what democratic socialism is. Not his
Yeah.
policies, but democratic socialism. Define that for America. We'll put that spot out. That's one of your campaign ads. These are you want to
Well, I mean,
relate to
so
people.
that's the thing is that's what is so important about Joe Rogan's podcast. He had Bernie Sanders on for an hour, for an entire hour, and just sat there and talked through the policy and talked through everything, like man to man, without these gotcha questions and
Right,
trying to get like sound bites for the news the next day and all that kind of stuff. It was just a conversation,
right,
which I mean, regardless of whether if it's with Joe Rogan or not, I want to see that a lot more often with all the candidates, everyone.
right.
Just hour long, 2 hour long, spots of just having conversation.
Now, I will say that, two things, I will attribute this, I thought Obama did a really good job of making the presidency more relatable. Now, it opened a door for Trump that very wide, but Obama was not afraid to go on talk shows. He was not afraid to go on and make spot guest appearances on this, that, or the other. Um, he was out there and he was putting his face out there. But at the same time, Andrew Yang was very much like that. He was out there on the street and he was doing things. That's why I reached out to him,
Yeah.
successfully, of course. But I
Hmm.
reached out to him, because it felt like he wanted to be on the ground level, actually talking to people who were, you know, getting local, community level media out there,
Yeah.
and just having, like you said, conversations, which they're all so worried about the sound bites. They're all,
Yeah.
I could picture Elizabeth Warren on something like that. Whenever I see her speaking,
Oh, she would fall apart.
she's always in sound bite mode. It's like when
Right.
that was very cringy when she did that. Just that whatever WhatsApp video or whatever it was that she
The
did,
live stream
the
thing.
little live stream.
I
Yeah,
think it was
there's
Twitter, if I'm not mistaken.
from her. It was
Yeah, where she's like, I'm gonna get me a beer. Oh my god. Go, no, go away.
now,
Ah,
but now
fucking
see, but
die of AIDS. Fuck.
you could picture Andrew Yang doing that and not feeling cringe at all, right? Like that just
I don't know. That poor,
well,
like, spraying whipped cream into his supporter's mouth was kind of cringe. I don't
well,
know. But I mean, I get it. Like, they were having fun. Fine.
dude, it's
I'm
whipped
just saying,
cream.
like,
I would shoot
yeah, I
whipped
know.
cream into your mouth if you asked me to.
I wouldn't let
I
you do that.
But you know what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just whipped cream. It wasn't like he shot it on his nipples and had the guy
Right,
take it
no,
off.
I got that. I'm not
Right?
saying,
I
I'm
mean,
just
it's
saying,
woo, Andrew, Yang Gang, Yang Gang, bang,
yeah, no, I get it.
Yang Gang
It
bang,
was just super cringy.
Yang Gang bang.
And trust me, I know cringe.
You are probably an expert on cringe, creating
Yeah,
and observing.
consuming cringe.
Yeah, see, I can't. Bernie's the closest thing to a personable level that I can feel from any of them. You know, um, I would say Steyer, but Steyer seems like that guy that you're talking to that always seems like every answer he's given you, he's not on your level. He's like daydreaming or thinking about something else in his head while he's talking to you. So
To be
you know,
fair, I talk like that though. So
no,
I mean,
no, I
how many times have I admitted on the show? You've asked me something. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not listening. Like that. Just yeah. Like I get that mentality absolutely.
I've just always assumed that's you slipping into Jane mode.
No, no, that's just that's me taking a word that you said and then spinning off on that in my own trail of thought, and then like finally coming
Snapping
back and
back.
be like, oh shit, I just missed like 2 minutes of what you were just saying. Oh shit. Like,
If you do
that's
that,
pretty
if
much.
you do that when you're sleeping, that's astral projecting. By the way, have you ever done
Oh, that would
that
be
where you woke up and felt like you were falling and like woke up and you're like, oh shit, like you just fell?
Oh well, yeah, yeah. You're supposed. Yeah, I mean that
They
happens to most people.
they say that's astral projecting. That's like
That's
you,
retarded.
yeah,
No, that's not
because
what that
you've
is.
been out astral projecting, and that's your body snapping, your spirit snapping back into your body. Hey, I'm just
No.
saying, this is one of those things, Johnny. You never know. You
Yeah,
might be
that's not
astral
what that is
projecting.
though.
No, no, it's just you being autistic. I think you're
Yeah,
autistic a little bit. There's a sliver there. Like if
there
we were
is.
if we were to look at your mental pie, there would be a little sliver of purple
There would absolutely be
there.
some autism, I'm sure.
Yeah. Don't we all though a little bit? So
Probably. That's why it's a spectrum.
I think it's being created for us, and maybe that's why Bernie is so popular. Is because our society has been brought to this point where we are
Point of
all
autism.
we are all mentally challenged at this point, and we don't need to
You
be
can say
thinking.
retarded,
We No, I don't want to say that.
but that's what it.
Well,
That's the metaphor.
our yes,
Mentally
our
retarded.
mentality has been retarded in its growth, the direction of growth. I don't know if retarded is the right word there, um, but yeah, I think that we have created we've come to this point where society. I don't know if society should be responsible for itself anymore. Like, because when our society sneaks out of the house at 11 o'clock at night, all bets are off. It's just
See,
like,
fuck that. I'll
say,
take my chances, man, with my own autism, and I'll find people with similar autism, and then we'll make a little autistic community and have little autistic babies. It'll be
hmm
awesome.
but but the problem is that you allow that to spread out from your own community. See, that's the thing, is this, the mental diseases that we all have now are so deep and ingrained into our psyches that wherever we go, if we leave our immediate surroundings, we're infecting others with our inane
Autism.
craziness. Yeah.
The crazy people are fun, man. Those are some of my favorite people. Just absolutely insane people.
No, you've not. Insane from. Yeah, you're saying insane like, bro, that party was insane.
No.
Not from the like literally insane.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, not the medically insane. I'm talking about just like strange out there, just weird people that like wouldn't fit into most of society. Like
as
those are my favorite people.
as it stands now, if everybody in America were given a psychological evaluation, my guess is, based off the various disorders that have been discovered and are constantly, expanded upon, etc., I would be willing to bet that 95% of the population of the United States have some level of mental illness.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's to do with obviously the amount of mental illnesses that exist
Oh
now,
yeah, that's why I say.
and them being over diagnosed. Like I mean, I told you guys before, I was diagnosed with ADHD,
Sure.
and that's actually probably there's some truth to that. Because I actually have a hard time focusing,
Right.
and I like to be moving. That's why you'll see during the stream I'll be, rocking back and forth like this, or like my knee. You can't see it under the desk, but my legs will be going like just bouncing up and down and stuff. Like,
Ed says,
yeah,
you mean people who would take their shirts off on your live stream? Yes,
yeah, exactly. That's
people like
exactly
that.
what I'm talking about. That's
But
exactly what I'm talking about.
but you have to,
That was awesome.
I would ask you to also consider the other aspects, like these some of these tests that we took a couple of shows ago. Your narcissism, mental
Mhm.
disorder. That is a mental.
I wouldn't say it's a disorder. I would say it's an
No,
attribute.
right. I'm sure you
It's an
would. It's
attribute.
an attribute. But
Yeah.
it's classified as a mental disorder. My depression, all of that, that's considered a mental disorder. Just those right there. So when you start looking in the broad spectrums of those things, and everything's got a spectrum, right? Is it ADD?
Yeah.
Is it ADHD? Is it ADD with, LGBT? Is it, I
Yeah.
don't know. There's so much of it out there, and there's so much of it that is preventable with medicine that causes other things.
Yeah.
It's like if you're prone to considering suicide, don't take this. But it'll help with your anxiety.
Yeah. If you're thinking about suicide, take this. It'll help. Or it'll make you kill
If
yourself more.
if you're
Take roll
not
the dice,
if you,
Like,
if you're not considering suicide, you may enjoy the pills.
right. Yeah.
Remember, go walk on the beach. It's working for
Yeah.
these folks.
Right. Yeah, they're jogging on the beach with their dog and
Oh,
yeah,
everything's
mountain
perfect,
climbing or oh yeah.
right?
They're just living their normal lives, like normal people do. Rock climbing and hang gliding and all this other shit that they do, sailing. Just fucking
Sailing.
commercials are such horse shit, dude.
Are they? Is that what you're
Oh
going
yeah.
with?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are. It's fun to listen to them though. Just to hear the stuff that you could be afflicted with. And now see, there's the thing. So from a libertarian mindset, again, something like that, you're fine getting rid of the FDA, am I correct? And letting companies, just make pills and hand them out to people.
Yeah, but at the same time, that leaves with the FDA gone, that leaves a vacuum and a market to fill, which would be people want to know if what they're taking is safe.
Right, but
So why would not a third party company come in and be like, "Hey, we'll see if your shit's safe or not."
and hope
And then
that
if it's not approved by one of those companies, hopefully there'll be more than one, right? If it's not approved by at least a couple of them, I mean, I personally wouldn't take it, but I'm also not going to stop someone else from taking it. I mean, I might say like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't take that. That's looks like some bullshit." But I'm not going to, not let them take it.
yeah, I'll just pay that company off to give me favorable reviews.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's more than one, then you get
Okay.
conflicting
I'll,
reports.
then I'll shop which one will give me favorable reviews for the least
Okay, yeah.
amount of money.
So 4 out of 5 of them say it's bullshit, and one's like, "No, I don't think it's
Okay,
that bullshit." Then
then I'll spread
you
the
know what I
wealth
mean?
and pay 4 out of 5 of them. you know, I mean, it's just if it's
No
private
shit.
organizations, they're just as easy to corrupt as a government is. Seawall, did you see him? He rolled
See,
in.
well, yeah, he's writing into the chat, and his boy Kim say Seal.
It's supposed to be
I
biochem
know what it's
seal.
supposed to be, but he said boy, so
He
I'm
did.
reading it
Oh,
as is.
so we got to go with boy on that one because
Yeah, because
yeah,
it's funnier that way.
you put your foot in it, Seawall. Or put your half track in it, as it were.
Yep.
But yeah, it's yeah. He made me lose track.
Yeah,
I don't think we were talking about anything important, were
we
we?
were
All I,
talking about we were talking about how great I am. Remember?
and how fucked up your head is around that. Yeah, I get you.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I challenge people though. I challenge people to actually go and try and find sources, medical resources where you can actually take psychological exams, answer questions and stuff. You know, granted, nothing's 100%. You know, and
Yeah, of course.
you have to resist your urge to troll the thing, right? But you know, find out where you stand. You know, just from get an idea and like, am I pretty fucked up? You know, so it's like you at least know what to hide from the general public, so they don't know you're as fucking crazy as you fucking are, right? And that's always
Yeah.
my goal, is to make sure people have no fucking clue just how screwed up I truly am.
But now people are
Or
going to speculate.
am I? Hmm.
Ooh.
Uh,
Seawall says he's got his food for the next 2 weeks. Sweet, I know where I'm going for dinner. And then Ed said we caught a wild seawall. Indeed, we did. Yes.
And if you do that, the company will be held legally liable along with the company that created the fault drug. Yeah, but without a government being involved in drug companies, if there's no regulations, then
Yeah, we're talking about.
there's really, it reduces so much accountability all across the board. Whenever you don't have government regulation there, it really does. I mean, we have to be honest there. Even if there is a period where it finally sorts itself out and the market, the fair market balances in and everything becomes legit, more or less legitimized, you're going to go through a period of corruption. You're always going to have corruption in things like this, no matter what you do. It's like the corruption of packaging in the grocery store. Just because you slap organic on it, because you used seeds that supposedly were, you know you get to charge me more money. Fuck you. I don't trust your organic anymore. I can grow shit in the ground too and not put any fertilizer or anything on it that's whatever you're
Yeah.
lying to me about.
But then you have all the chemicals that are in the chemtrails. So, you know what I
You know,
mean? It's like it doesn't really matter.
2 weeks.
That's one of my favorites is the chemtrail conspiracy.
So
When,
Seaval only stocked up for the next 2 weeks. I think that this is
wait, he eats 8 pounds of rice a week? Holy shit, dude.
wow.
That's insane.
Well, that's rice is heavy when it's dry. It's one of those
I
things that
know.
fluffs out. He's going to have dinner parties. You know,
We're all gonna come over and have sticky rice with him.
if you keep your rice for and contained right, man, you can have that shit for a long time. You got to watch out for those boll weevils, though. They'll get in there.
Oh
The
yeah.
weevils, they like to eat that rice.
Oh shit, Boulder Vaughn, what's up, bro? He has enough food and water for 4 people for 3 months. Shit, I know where I'm going.
There, well,
Where do you live, Boulder Vaughn?
you should
We'll come
already be
over.
there if you're going. Then I went and got some more, right? Um,
Nice.
yeah, I think that you know I don't know. It's weird. It's weird the things like I asked Teresa. I'm like, have you seen an inordinate amount of people coming in and buying stuff? She's like, no, it's just pretty much been the same idiots. She's like, I did watch two ladies fighting over the last pack of hand wipes. Like they were fighting over some sanitizing wipes. It's like, okay, ladies, calm the fuck down. The sky has
Right?
not fallen yet. There hasn't been a case reported in your state. Walk home. Cool off. You're gonna be
Yep.
okay. Uh, um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think the only thing that's really coming out of this that I'm hearing that's like, this is a good time to buy stock, right? And
Oh
it's like,
yeah,
and
for
that's what,
sure.
and that's what
Oh
you want.
yeah.
You want people to start buying stock again, so that the market starts to, balance out. And yeah, oh, everybody's, I get it. The market took some hits this week. How much of it is just a balance? I mean, we were on a skyrocket for the last few weeks, and like nobody's freaking out about that. But I'm like, it's shooting up, like it's going up, up, up. This has got to take a turn. It can't just keep going up anyway. And something like this, with everything that's going on, yeah, it's suddenly having an impact. Okay, this is where the balance is. I don't know. I haven't started freaking out yet. You know, I've got an idea about going and stocking up on a few things, but I'm like, okay, why would we immediately go? Why is something going to happen immediately when we don't have that much of it showing up in this country right now? If anybody goes to, this is not the time.
Nice, Boulder Vaughn. Bought a ton of sugar and yeast for his still.
Nice.
My
See,
dude.
see,
Hell
there it
yeah.
is. You use the opportunity to get things right. That
Hell yeah.
the important things. See, he's got
And,
three
just because
kids.
it's the end of the world, just because it's the end of the world doesn't mean you should be on. Just saying.
See, he's got three kids. A man needs a still with three kids.
Oh fuck yeah, you do.
Jesus
Hell yeah.
Christ.
Oh
I'm not
man.
saying they drive you to drink, because they ain't got a fucking license and they can't reach the
Yeah.
pedals. But man, they push you. They push.
I always like that one joke that was, it takes two people to tell it, but it's like, it's like, oh, how's your wife doing? Oh, she's driving me to drink. It's like, oh, you're the lucky one. Mine's making me walk. That whole. I like that one.
That's
Pretty
almost
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
Like where you're getting going with this stuff.
Yeah.
But something that I put something in the show title. I wanted to ask you, talk to you a little about the FBI. What the fuck is going on with the FBI? When did this become like? So this whole case that's been going on with the chick from uh, Full House, Lori Laughlin, with
Uh huh.
the college
And
entrance,
Becky.
and
Yeah.
they were so apparently their defense is bringing forward some tapes of messages and conversation, whatever, where the FBI, an agent in the FBI is basically, they've got like a sting operation being, when they're putting the sting on, um, but more or less pushing this guy to lie to these people. Basically what could be described as entrapping them, with the
Hmm.
conversations, the lie, him lying, and trying to force them to say things on tape. Pushing them to
Hmm.
say things that would be incriminating. And I'm like, so what the fuck is the FBI doing nowadays? Plus that's on top of
They're
all of
being the
this with
FBI is what they're doing.
well, is that is well now? Are you saying that in a unironic way or
Yeah, yes,
sarcastic?
no, no, no. They're a law enforcement agency.
Sure, but
Like that's what they're supposed to do. I
um,
mean, but they're on the federal level, so they have like no accountability at all.
but why is this at the?
So it's like if you gave your local police no accountability whatsoever, and then just said, "Okay, go." They're gonna do some fucked up shit. I mean, it's only natural.
Well,
It's unfortunate, but it's only natural. I mean, you give someone power without accountability, and they're gonna run away with it.
well, yeah, I can understand that, but we look back at all of this that happened with the Mueller report and the Steele dossier, and these wiretaps that were, weren't gained, properly. Um,
And what's happened with them?
why are
Nothing.
why are they involved in things? I don't know, the things that everything they're doing seems so politicized, so um,
Yeah.
I don't know, monetized. I mean, why are they involved in the investigating this when it involves schools and it involves people at the schools? I mean, were they, how did they? Is
I mean,
this
to
a
be fair, that
job for
is a
the?
crime what they were doing. So
Sure.
it definitely falls within their jurisdiction. But
Um, you know, there's bad guys out on the street that they could be. Like you think about some of the things that they've done in the past. Like you've got serial killers out there. You've got Looney Tunes out there that want to do bad things, and and it's like,
right.
you know, I mean, if I want to accommodate this TV mentality, you know, I've been shown on TV that that's what the FBI does best is they go and they solve these kind of things, and
That's
you know
propaganda, bruh.
you
You've
know
been had.
but you
It's
know
not what the FBI does. Like almost ever. Like almost ever, with very few exceptions. And then that gets blown up and publicized, and they're like, "Look how great the FBI is. We did this thing."
see all that shit that
That's
was
that's like that's not 99% of their job.
But see, like the stuff that was going on with like the Steele dossier and all of the email scandals and all of this bullshit and Russian interference, that all seems like stuff that should strictly be under the purview of the CIA, right? I mean, the CIA should be running investigations on that stuff. The CIA should be the ones doing that because they deal with intelligence at, it's my opinion that they deal with the intelligence at that level. The FBI should be policing the country, as it were. Like they should be involved in things that are happening. Maybe to a certain extent, Lori, but going to the extent of running, these sting operations where they're, putting themselves at vulnerable, again, doing stupid shit, you know, just like getting
Yeah.
bad wiretaps, bad information and shit. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I question the necessity of it. Every state has, or I think most states have their own Bureau of Investigations.
Well, they have like offices. Yeah.
Um, I, I would say that that money would be what better spent to have a small group that coordinates at a federal level the actions of state bureaus, and that's it. They don't have task force that they're sending out. They don't have like the whole FBI infrastructure. You know, I don't know. I'm
Well, I mean, they
wondering if
do
they're
coordinate a
necessary.
lot. They do coordinate a lot with. They're absolutely not. But they do coordinate a lot with the state and local
Well,
law
sure,
enforcement.
because they
Yeah.
have to, right? You've got
There's
jurisdictional
very few
things
of
that,
them.
but
There's very few of them as well. They can't be everywhere.
sure, and you don't need that though. If like if it was this kind of situation where you needed to coordinate something between, say, Georgia and Alabama, you just speak to the, like you get on the phone, you get on, you get online, you have meetings and conversations, and you
Yeah.
coordinate. That person helps facilitate a mediary, whatever, a federal mediary that gives allowances, short-term writs that allow access into somebody else's jurisdiction, so that everything, all your bases are covered, and that's that. Instead of having like this huge thing where it's like the bigger the organization is and the more power you give them, the bigger the corruption opportunity, right? And now we're seeing how
Hmm.
much of that corruption and what they're willing to do, and it's being made apparent in big, major situations like the Mueller report and the impeachment, and then on smaller scales like fucking Lori McLean. I don't know. It's just I don't know. You've got to get all this evidence. I don't know. There's so many loopholes in the legal system now, I guess, that you've got to get evidence and you got to do whatever you can to get the evidence. It's fucked up. you know, I don't know. I mean, can you see us doing without the FBI, John? Can we get?
Oh yeah. Yeah. hundred
Do they
percent.
do they serve enough function at the federal
No.
level to justify having them?
No. No, they don't.
Um, so
I think they
how
do a lot more harm than they do.
could we police federal crime if we don't have the FBI?
Yeah. I mean, there's federal courts already.
Do we
So whatever state that person is arrested in, they still go to a federal court.
we just rely on the state bureaus to do the due diligence, the work,
Investigating
get the
to do their job,
investigations,
yeah.
the arrests, the setups,
Right.
all of that.
Gathering evidence, getting a confession most likely. Which those are, there's problems with that too, with how, local and state law enforcement will get confessions. There's major problems with that as well. But there's no need to exacerbate that problem by having an even, more powerful and less accountable body to try and get confessions. That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, so then in that vein, um, but well, we could agree though that the CIA, while in and of itself, yes, open to corruption, etc., by its very nature, it's a clandestine organization, but they serve a necessary function. We need that for counter. intelligence. Am I correct? We need them in
What, the
place.
CIA?
Right.
Yeah. I think they have more of a claim to existence than the FBI. However, I think they should deal with things for the most part outside of the U.S. and they shouldn't be, orchestrating like overthrows of, third world countries, governments, so that they can replace them with someone friendly to the U.S. Like, I don't think that that's what they're for.
We don't need the CIA. The DIA exists.
Intelligence,
Department of Intelligence Agency. Yeah, but
I guess. I don't know.
uh, see,
I don't know what the
I
DIA is.
see. I thought the Department of
The
Intelligence, the
Dick Intelligence Agency,
um, I th- it,
Department of Internal
is
Affairs. Got it. Or Defense
oh
Intelligence. Oh,
oh.
okay. Department of Internal Affairs would make more sense, I think.
Well, yeah, but the
But
CIA. I thought the CIA
Defense
focused
Intelligence
on
Agency.
intelligence. I mean, a lot of their focus was on intelligence coming into the country. Um,
I don't. I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
Or the military intel department. And I'm going to tell you something. Those guys are fucking awesome. Like the military intelligence. Like I know it sounds like an oxymoron and it's a fun joke, but those guys are fucking serious. There's actually a story that my dad's told about when he was in the Navy. They were in the Persian Gulf during the first Gulf War, and like they had an Iraqi ship coming towards them, and they knew that there was a certain type of missile on that ship, and I forget what it was called, but there was a certain type of missile on that ship, and they were told by the intelligence guys, like while the ship was still coming towards them, that they had on board the last missile of that type, uh, that Iraq had. Like they somehow had gotten that information, found it, pulled it up, and relayed that information before they got in range to that ship. And so like they ended up firing at them at my dad's ship, and obviously didn't hit them. But yeah, they were told like in the span of 15 minutes from when they detected the ship until they got like within range that yeah, that's the last one in existence because they had to take apart like the other three that they had in order to make that one work. So like they had gathered all that information and relayed it in that amount of time. It's fucking that's insane. Those guys are good.
uh, so in the 80s, going through the whole Cold War era, you know, we were led to believe that the CIA was out there fighting the Cold War. There were, the whole
That's why, yeah, that's
all the
absolutely what they.
spying, the information, the
Yeah,
misinformation that was going on. So their benefit to society as a whole was very very much expanded. Like the how they were perceived, you know like they were the ones on the front lines, like like we do now after after this war on terror. We see soldiers, and we understand that we're beholding to them for going out there and doing this job that we wish they weren't doing, and this whole nine yards. Well, that's how but you didn't know who the CIA was, because everybody was, they were all spies and nobody knew who
yeah.
they were. So you didn't know who was out there defending you, but they were out there. The CIA was the shit, right?
Well, yeah,
So
and then you had like all the James Bond movies, which was what was it? MI6 in
MI6, yes,
yeah, which is supposed to be MI5, right? But
right.
MI6, it's even more secret.
Midgets, fuck Lois. Nice and slow, midget.
Hey, midget.
Sewell says CIA playbook was written by a Soviet spy in World War II who then gave a copy to the KGB.
Yeah.
CIA was compromised from day one. That's understandable.
Oh, what you're saying? So you're saying, Seawall, the CIA or assets are they Putin's pets? So that's why they're blaming everyone else for being Putin's pets. All
Yeah.
right, calm down there, J. Edgar. So the MI5 is internal, and MI6 is foreign.
Good
Fair
lord,
enough.
these limey bastards.
Yeah.
What the hell? God, Make sure you don't get that screwed up, John. You don't want to get that.
I know,
I
Jesus,
thought
like
I don't
the
even.
autism will come at
To
me.
be honest, I don't even
I'm
know
looking
which
to get.
MI. I don't even know which MI they're on. I know that there's supposed to be some new one either out or coming. It just came out or is coming out. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know how many more of those Tom Cruise has got in him, but 5 or 6 doesn't sound too far off the mark there. So, you
Yeah.
know, you know. But if he does MI6 as a foreign flick, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what languages he speaks, but maybe his.
Scientology is a language, isn't it?
Is there a language there associated with the mothership? Is there a language that he
I
speaks?
fucking I don't fucking
I would
know.
think there would be. They wouldn't. They don't want to stay stooped down to the level of the basic human,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, so I don't know. The CIA are they necessary? Who do we rely on? I mean, don't we rely on the NSA more than anything now, as far as intelligence is concerned? So they've
If
kind
you
of made the
fucking know
CIA
something,
obsolete.
they're all obsolete. God damn it.
Oh, the NSA will
Fucking pieces of
never be
shit.
obsolete, John.
These fucking alphabet bullshit organizations get fucked. Oh my god.
But you do realize that the NSA is only as capable as it is because the human public, the American citizenry, allows it to be so.
Well, yeah, because they'll bitch and moan, and just like I'm doing right now. They won't do anything about it, just like
Hmm.
I'm not doing right now.
And you still keep sending your information right down the alley for them to pick it
That's
up
right.
as they want, filter through it, make sure you're nothing to worry about. Yeah, just constantly being scanned. You know, they're aware. You're
Yep.
there. They're there. Big Brother is watching at all times.
Well,
In a,
see, that's the thing is, I don't actually like buy into that whole, oh, they're listening in right now. No, there's not a dude sitting there listening to what you're saying. Like it's in a file somewhere, archived. You know what I mean? Like they're not listening to every single thing. There's no way. First of all, people are incompetent to begin with, so no. And secondly, there's what 350 million people in this country, give or take, right? You're not. They can't assign people to listen to you, or they can't just sit there all day and just listen to phone calls and read emails and shit. You know what I mean? They're looking for flags, like they're looking for keywords and things like that. If something gets enough, flags, then someone will look at it, and then that'll be it.
so have you? So we have the FBI, we have the CIA, we have the DIA, we have uh, Homeland Security, we have the NSA, we we have all all of these resources for intelligence and information and all this
Legit.
enforcement capability, and yet look at where we are. That's I don't know. There's as much intelligence gathering infrastructure in Washington as there is military. Um, it's an
Yeah.
it's unimaginable how large it is and how many different groups there are to go over it. What does he say? Actually, they
It's
record
true,
everything you
Sewell,
do or
yeah.
say. They only sit and listen if they're
He
stalking
did.
you, right? Like if you're some
No, like if
CIA
you're some
agent's
CIA.
ex-girlfriend.
That did actually happen, yeah.
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 NAS spies on
Which is what I'm saying.
ex-girlfriends.
That goes back to the incompetent part that I was talking about. First thing, people are incompetent. Second thing is that's a ridiculous, like that's way too tall of an order. Sit there and just listen to everybody.
Well, but see, that's the thing. It's like it's running through algorithms and stuff. So they don't
That's
have
what
to
I'm
sit.
saying. Yeah, yeah.
They only target you if, like, for some reason we started saying the B word on here. Talking about, you know, terrorist activity, that kind of thing. We were saying the B word a
Yeah.
lot. It would pick up, and they would have to filter through and make sure that there wasn't any surrounding associated word. Blah blah blah. But
Right.
it's like it's insane to me just how much we've signed off on, and at the same time we'll bitch about it.
Well,
Then
we haven't
turn
signed off on it.
Well, we have in the
We didn't do anything to stop it. Yeah.
right. I mean, like, there's not been a significant challenge to the Patriot Act as a whole, in my
Yeah.
opinion, that
No, there
has
hasn't.
rocked this country. Um, but so in effect, we continue to sign off on it. Like, so many people don't even know it exists. It's become that commonplace. I mean, there's kids
Yeah.
growing up inside the Patriot Act with no knowledge that it's there at
Or
all.
that it has never, or that it's never not been there.
Right. So it's,
Oh, dude, Ed, that's where the black bag comes, man.
what does he say? What
Pull
if you're
that wool
plowing?
over your eyes.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to be that guy. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
you
when
don't
you
want to,
just disappear one day,
right?
become a missing person.
Sir, we're going to need you to change your name to Epstein. What? Hey,
Say the
I
watchwords, what, like bomb?
say the watchwords, Robert. I have an announcement to make for our assigned agent. Ting, ting, ting. I love the
Oh,
watchwords
man.
thing.
Oh,
Uh,
apparently the cake was delivered to the party, expected to begin in 10 hours and 47 minutes. I will make sure that I am nowhere near that because I don't like those kinds of parties. So I'll make sure that I am far away from it, outside the noise radius of the
yeah.
party.
Now we've got to activate midget. We've got lunchbox, hose, wheelbarrow,
No, not that one. No. What have you
Cadil-
done, Robert? You've killed us all.
Cadillac, oven, star,
Antiquing.
mustache, antiquing, antiquing.
That's too on the
That's
nose there,
no, no,
midget.
no. Not a trigger word, a watchword. The pepperoni pizzas have been delivered to the Moloch temple.
I guess that's a little too on the nose.
Slice of blueberry pie. Oh, yeah, that's.
Oh, you guys are silly gooses. A lot of you.
Oh, yeah, it's. But you know what? There was some good spy movies being made back in the '80s.
Oh yeah,
If
dude.
you ever get a chance, it was who was Spies Like Us with Dan Aykroyd was a good one. But there was
I
another one
believe I've seen that.
with Robin Williams and Walter Matthau, Survivors. But they were Jerry Reed. He's an old country music singer, but he did some TV stuff. Had a stutter, but you'd never know it to hear him act and sing.
Yeah.
But anyway, he plays this hitman, and they interact with him, and then Robin Williams freaks out and goes to a you know a mountaineer training combat training camp up in the woods, buying a survivor compound and all of this. And it's funny for the '80s, but they're all freaked out, because
Oh, see, well, I've already got your code word. Your code word.
code words.
Yeah, I already know what it is.
His code words or trigger words? It makes a
Trigger
difference.
word. Yeah, I know how to trigger him.
Do you?
Yeah. Communism. Yeah.
ID 10T. ID 10T.
Yep.
ID 10T. That should set him off.
So anyway, I remember when I went to DC, I was like 17 or 18, something like that. And we went to, I think it was like the CIA museum or something like that. I know it was like a spy museum because I had a whole bunch of like the suitcase gun, like or briefcase gun. I mean, where like you carry the briefcase, it's got a little trigger on it. Or like it's like a ring that you put it on your finger and you pull, and like it fires.
Hmm.
Same thing. It had the same thing with the camera. Um,
Right.
there was a whole bunch of like they had the Enigma machine, like the uh cipher stuff and like all kinds of shit. It was really
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
See, I told you. See what's triggered now.
Is it? Go get the chopper. Hold it right. My kids and I have go bags and special words used to gather quickly. Right? Go bags. The go bag. Go bag. Do you have a go bag, John?
Mm. He got that kind of an ex-wife, Boulder Van. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Nice. Uh,
Yeah,
yes, like where do you find the ones that you care about the most? Or you make a conscious decision within yourself to not care about anybody, and you know that's the realization that you really have to when you get to that point where you have to make that realization, that call, that decision. Okay, when do I take the survival of the fittest approach? You know,
yeah.
I mean, do you see yourself as like one of those sacrifice yourself for those around you kind of people, or do you see yourself more as a fight or flight,
It
preferably
depends
flight?
on it depends on who. Like it has to be someone close, like real close, like family. Like not even most of them. Like yeah, it has to be someone real close.
Right? It's like, it's like, so how many people do you have in your life? How many people do you have close enough to you that if you're running, you would not clip them in the ankle and let the zombies stop and snack on them while you got away?
Oh
How
yeah,
many
I probably wouldn't do that.
how many people do you have in your life like that?
Most people, I probably yeah, I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want someone to do that to me.
I mean, it's obvious
So I
that
wouldn't go around doing that.
I mean, you've
And
got
then fuck how awkward did they survive too.
but you've got
you know?
you've got to think that mentality. It's not like I don't have to be faster than the lion. I just have to be faster
Right. No, I
than the
understand the
lion,
mentality.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so it's like, they're going to fall behind anyway. It's probably going to happen inevitably. You can
Well, if
reason this out, and it buys you time.
to be
So
fair, I'm probably gonna fall behind, to be honest.
right,
So
which is the other dynamic that factors in. So again, we have to ask the question: how many people are close enough to you that you don't clip their ankle in the escape from a pack of zombies?
not many.
Because when you really
Yeah.
break it down, right, it's like, mm, 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 mm. How many people are that close to me? I can think of like three, four
hmm
that I might do that for.
That's about
Um,
what I've got. Yeah.
the rest of you are
Yeah.
fodder.
Sorry,
I'm
guys.
sorry,
Sorry,
you're
chat.
fodder. You know what? It's like you do you got to do you. I'm just going to keep enough distance from you, and then if I feel you're going to outpace me, I might close the distance just a hair, just for that clip shot. You don't need that Achilles heel where you're going.
Yep. Bolderon saying he's 4% of all fathers. He has custody of all three kids. No visitation. I actually had a girlfriend that had the same. She was in the same deal where, like, her dad had custody. She was an only child, but her dad had custody and of her, and her mom was not allowed anywhere near her. And she was. I met her once. She was batshit fucking weird. Like, I get it, but yeah, yeah, that's some insane shit. It almost never happens. Oh no,
Yeah.
Seawell, I'm going to be in your half track. Don't worry about it.
No, we'll take your half track.
No, no, I'll hang out with Seawell.
Yeah.
I'll hang out with him. He's all right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference. Like, nobody falls behind if everybody's in the half track.
And no, Boulder
Then,
Run. She
then
did not live in Boulder, Colorado. Jesus, she lived in Florida, where I met. Wow,
but
with no lawyer, he won. Holy shit, that's insane. She must have been really fucked.
wow, I don't know how you did that. I get well,
Yeah, she must have been
that doesn't happen
off her
in
fucking
Florida.
rocker in the courtroom. She
Flor-
must have like spit on somebody, or I don't know.
Florida still carries a healthy gender bias.
Well, Florida's just fucked in general, so.
Healthy gender bias when it comes to that. I was a stay-at-home parent, and I got railroaded by her lawyers.
Yeah.
Had all my money frozen. I had no access to any money, no access to a
Which is
lawyer.
ridiculous because that was the whole point of having it be, towards the woman in the first place. Is that
The state, because they would stay at
because you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't have income, and you were accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and so you're supposed to be able to maintain that after you leave.
right.
But so it should have worked in your favor in that case because it's the same exact
Sure,
circumstance, but
sure, sure,
just different gender.
sure. I thoroughly get it. I
No, no, I
thoroughly.
mean I'm on your side here, man.
No, no, I understand how it should have worked, but that's
Right. That's
but
not how it happens. I know.
it's
Oh, she stabbed you, Boulder Von? Yeah, I guess that would do it. But even then, I wouldn't be so certain. Like, I would not be certain in that case. I
yeah,
mean, it's
not in
not,
Florida. Yeah, you can't be certain in
especially
Florida.
not in Florida, yeah. Because it's
Yeah,
like everybody's stabbing
yeah,
everybody around here.
it's a
So
no fault state. There's
it's a, it's a no fault state, yeah.
yeah, she.
It's like,
That's
well, what
just
did you do to get
sir.
stabbed?
That's just
Like,
that's just a stabbing. It has no impact on the divorce. What?
yeah.
It's just a stabbing, sir.
Like, what? You never been stabbed before? I got stabbed twice on the way here. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
No, it's yeah, it's definitely it surprises me how it's I don't know, the biases that go on that don't the feminists don't balance in whenever they're talking their narrative. Too many of them don't.
Yeah. I mean, the only response you really get is that feminism will solve that by making the genders equal, and so there won't be a bias. They'll just pick the judges will pick whichever parent is most fit, regardless of gender, and that's such like a I don't know, it's a cop out. It's just a way of answering it without needing to think about it at all.
I think the way that men are dealt with when it comes to divorce and child support, primarily child support, when it comes to children, I think men, the way it's handled these days, in many cases, is a direct effect of feminism from the 70s. Things,
Yeah,
now it's not to say that men should be able to just go out there and whatever, but you
of
know,
course.
it,
Yeah,
the situation isn't looked at. I mean, it's just it's who's got the strongest lawyer, who can go in carrying the
yeah,
most weight. If you're unlucky enough to be faced against a lawyer like that, it's like, they had me convinced. They're like, there's no way this judge. We know the judge is going to go before. There's no way this judge is going to, you know, this is, I was like, because I fought it for a while. Fought it, and it's like,
hmm
no, this is not going to go the way you want it to. This is not going to happen. This is basically what they told me.
yeah.
And the oddest thing was, it's like, I'm like, all right, I'll sign it, but I'm signing it under duress. Oh, no, 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 we don't want you to be under duress. Oh, no, no, no,
No,
no.
really. No, I'm under fucking duress,
No,
asshole.
no, no.
Fuck off.
You're not going to change that situation, sir.
Yeah.
You're not going to. No, no, that's never going to change.
hmm
Um, you know, but yeah, it's an interesting society we live in. Just the way it bounces back and forth and goes. Um, Boulder? Did she have a lawyer that you were dealing with as well, or was she just there on her own, uh, defending herself? Because I think whew, lawyers, whew, they're there's some nasty
Yeah.
fuck. If they're
I'm
not
so
on
glad
your
I never had
side,
to deal with him.
if they're not on your side, there's some nasty fucks.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're nasty
Although I
fucks if
did
they
work
are
for
on your
one.
side.
I did technically work for
Well,
a lawyer for a short time. Um, when I was doing the medical marijuana petitions, that was done by John Morgan.
hmm,
Uh, that's in Orlando.
right,
So technically, I was paid by him because he's the one who funded it and everything.
right.
So but
Um,
that's all I did was go around and collect signatures.
I have to say that man put a lot of effort and money, personal money. He put a lot of personal money into that drive to start getting legalization here in the state. I want to say the first couple of times that he ran at it, he wound up putting over $23 million into it.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
he. It's because of his dad. Went through cancer and everything, and illegally smoked marijuana, and it helped him out a lot. With the pain and being able to eat and all that, and he saw the benefits for it,
sure, sure.
and decided that he wanted to change the law. Well, fucking fair enough, man. Good for him. You know.
Now I know that part of the argument has got to be, though he doesn't, publicize it. I don't know how familiar you are with his history in this town, but in the back of his mind, he's going. Besides, if I had been high all those times I got DUIs,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Well, I mean,
things would have been much better for me.
you can still get arrested for being stoned while driving,
Sure,
which is
but
ridiculous.
but it
'Cause-
would have been, you know what I'm saying. Because the man's
yeah.
had a few DUIs under his belt. Fortunately, he knew a pretty good lawyer who could get him off.
Yeah. And since I don't drive anymore, I'll go ahead and say it. I can't remember being high. Like it was just, I don't know. That's usually where I got high, especially if I was living with my parents. I couldn't do it at the house. I'll just drive around and you know smoke in the car while
Uh,
driving.
uh,
I'm not saying it's a good thing to do necessarily, but
right.
that's what I did.
Boulder Von said that in his case there was child abuse. He had videos he
Ooh.
was able to bring into the. I'm like, wow, okay, yeah. See, and this is one of those things where, I'm not.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that I I
Or,
I really. What's that?
oh, I was just trying to figure out. You said the videos are way worse than what? Uh, in front of our kids. Like what? Like what in front of your kids?
Videos of her acting out in front of the
Oh, I
cameras.
got you. Okay, okay,
Right,
okay. Yeah, yeah. I see.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Damn. Yeah.
See, I had
I
to.
guess that'll do it, though, won't it?
That was where I had to try and figure out if I needed to walk that line, in talking about abuse, and but I was approaching it from a different standpoint, more of a, just the psychology of the household that they were going to be going into, and I'm like, I don't know that I agree with it.
Hmm.
It's not a good mentality. It's is this going to be healthy for them long term? You know, but
Yeah.
without the right people, here, without the right people to make that argument, they don't look at you very well if you're just doing it yourself. Of course, maybe it was my own fault for not feeling like I had the confidence to stand up to her team of lawyers. I don't know. There were like
Yeah.
two or three of them I dealt with in a short period of time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, they really do love this intimidation game. But
Yeah.
there was nothing I could prove. You know, and here, being here in the state of Florida, one of the primary medication I was taking, she would, no matter how much she supported
Yeah.
it on her, in our off, the record conversations, she was willing to use that against me in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
fucked. There's so many ways I'm fucked in this. You know,
Yeah.
just take my beating. Yeah, You know, I'll say kunta kinte till I can't take any more lashes. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But more power to you, Boulder. I'm glad that you got those kids away from
Yeah.
that, and they're,
Absolutely.
and they know.
And
I'm glad they've got their, a dad that provides bug out bags for them and sets up a plan, the boog as it were, the boog plan.
yeah. Absolutely, man. For
That's
sure.
that's mad parenting, and I got to give props to you for that. You're a very capable father-like kind of guy. Um, we need more of you out there. We need more people like that raising kids. That's the problem,
Yeah.
is we don't have enough of that happening with our kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Congrats on beating the odds. What's
Yeah.
what's the worst part, Ed? He said when he was living with his parents, he had an office like he got high in. He said the worst part, I have a CDL, so I can get an OWI at .04, operating while intoxicated at zero point 0.4. Mm. Uh,
No, you've got a medical card, Boulder, but you don't. Oh, you don't puff, but you could. Yeah, I mean, I get why you wouldn't, especially with kids around and stuff. You can't be all couch locked and, covered in Cheeto dust if you got kids to look after, for
Yeah.
sure. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with, you go to bed, lay in there and put something on, you put some YouTube on or something and smoke a little bit, go to sleep. Nothing wrong with that.
Um, or you could just be like that parent that I remember when I was growing up and running around as a teenager with some friends and going over to this one guy's house, and his mom is there, and he was like asking us if we wanted to go get high, so we were going to go smoke some weed, and his mom was there, so we were all like, oh shit, your mom's there. And then he told her, he's like, hey, we wanted to smoke some weed. And she's like, oh, okay, hold on. And so she goes and gets this big box and opens it up and sits there and gives us a lesson on rolling dupes and all of this. And I'm like, damn, dude. I was tripping out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, she's been teaching us how to do it. He said, I roll a pretty mean joint. I've been doing that for quite a few years now. I'm like, dude. Even at that age, I was like, this is so fucking cool. Yet,
Yeah.
seriously, since you were how old, you've been rolling dupes for your mom? And he said it started out. She just taught him how to clean her weed because she would get in like big bags of weed. She'd get a quarter pound in at a time or whatever. And of
Yeah.
course, back in the day, you didn't have the whole hydro thing going on, so it'd be seedy and everything. So you'd have to sit and clean seeds and stems out of it. So she started him off with that. Teaching him how
Yeah.
to clean her weed for
Seawall said, "Am I the only good boy here who has never enjoyed Mary Jane?" Nerd.
her. Listen,
Um, and then he's Boulder saying, I use True CBD. It's great. Yeah, CBD is really good.
um, all I can
Uh,
all I can say to you, Seawall, is that you know if that's what you think being a good boy is, then so be it. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
you're missing out, bro.
hold on to that purity. You stay golden,
Yeah.
pony boy. Stay golden. Stay
Yeah,
gold, pony boy.
that's
Stay
right.
gold. Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold.
Rumble, rumble. Johnny stabbed a Soph. Or whatever the fuck they say. That shit. Oh man, that book
So,
sucks so much
did
dick.
I ever ask you how you were introduced to the Outsiders? Was it something you had to do in school?
Yeah, in school.
Yeah, I love how they
Yep.
introduce that in school. That or Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
Sewell says I legally can't smoke weed due to agreements I have made unless Fed law changes. Um,
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah, I forgot you were a Fed. Yeah.
but
Seventh grade required reading. Yeah, I think I was about maybe a little bit older. I don't remember exactly when I read it, but yeah,
so I have to ask Sewell, how regularly are they checking you? So I mean, is
probably
this
not at all.
you know I mean that becomes the question. This is for everybody who's like in a position that they can't smoke weed. You know, I mean, and that when it's all said and done, that filters down to everybody working on a federal level. Even Sally at the Social Security office. She's a federal employee, so blah blah blah, right? Um, but how often are they testing? Is this one of those things like like firemen and police where they have like a cocktail that they have together to drink? They put together and they drink and clear their system out, so in case they get a piss test, kind of thing. He's just never, but I never want to risk it. Besides, I really don't care. I've never been drunk. Oh,
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough. Oh, I've never even been drunk.
Jesus!
Jesus,
Who
but
invited
not, not
Trump?
once, but
Who invited
right?
Trump?
Who invited the
Jesus!
fucking nerd? Oh my god.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding. See, well, you're cool.
Never been
But
drunk. Good
but
God. Then how do you know if you've ever been laid?
what's he right? But what's funny is when I started the job that I have now, like when as soon as you go into like the main door, like where where the office is and everything, there's a sticker on the door. It says, we drug test. Like, if you use drugs, don't bother applying and shit like that. And I was like, as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh fuck, because I was going to the interview. I was just like, oh fuck, if they test me, I'm gonna be honest and just say, hey, listen, like, you're gonna see my system.
You know
What
what?
do you want to, what do you want to do from here? And then, I get up there, I do the interview, everything's good, and then no one ever mentioned a drug test at all. And then after a while, I started working, and I was, getting to know the people around. And then I was like, yeah, if they did a drug test here, if they drug tested people, they're gonna lose almost all of their employees, like everybody there. you know, just I don't know. I thought it was funny though that they said, they had a little warning out there, don't bother. But
Right.
meanwhile, you know, yeah.
Well, when it's all said and done, you know, it's a smart idea. Any interview you go to, you just carry the pharmacological Bible with you, the book of pills and all sorts of pharmaceuticals. You carry that with you, and then if they mention it, you say, "I brought this in case there's a drug test." You break
Right.
the
So I can,
ice, and then they forget all about it, and you just go on about your way. That's like the best system cleanser deterrent that you can have is to carry that book with you. And you can quote me on that. I don't suggest trying it, but you can quote me.
you can do it. I mean,
Run with it, brother. Run with it. Uh, Sewell says, "Hey, if you put a 5'2" Asian chick who is interested in me in front of me, all bets are off." Whoa, 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 whoa! How do we get there?
yeah. Oh no, that's because he's saying like if she walked up like naked with a joint in one hand and a bottle of
Oh, gotcha. All
something in the
bets are
other
off.
hand, yeah. So how do most importantly though, how do we make that happen?
Ed says, well, I mean,
Does
why?
anyone know a 5'2" Asian chick that would want to bone Seawall and also get high and drunk with him?
See
So I want to
now,
see all those three, not all three of those things. Sorry, two of those things happen,
there's
and
already too
imply
much.
the third.
There's already too much effort involved here.
All we need is a 5'2" Asian. I'm sure there's Asian hookers
do
out there
you
somewhere.
don't you think that if he
And
wanted
all
to,
Asian, and all, all hookers use at least marijuana, if not many more things, plus drinking. So that's all we really need is just an Asian hooker.
I think that he could probably swing that if he wants to make that happen. He's probably had that benefit and that option this whole time, and he hasn't acted upon it.
Right, Sewell
There's a
said he already has a
reason.
friend working on that. Okay, but no, you don't understand. We need the other things involved as well. We're gonna corrupt you, Sewell. Your innocence is not long for this world. We will fuck you up in a good way. No, not really. I wouldn't do that to you. I'll respect your shitty options, your shitty choices.
I gave up a long time ago trying to get anybody laid. You know, it's really pointless. You can't you can't do it for him. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, John. I mean, the best you can do is maybe hose the horse down. You know, Boulder. If you add below seawall, she will let you put it in her butt.
Fact. I actually don't know. I don't know anything about.
Any innocence is already going to be ruined by an old friend of mine at his wedding. Oh my! And I see Ron Helton showing up with a what is that? Is that a locomotive? Is that his half track? What is that? It looks very small on the screen, so I can't make it out.
Caution: Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
I'd have
Well,
to
hey, Ron Helton, thanks for showing up,
Ron
man.
Helton
Appreciate it.
in the
I think we're about
house.
to end in a minute though, but
Why would we
thanks for
end
stopping
this fascinating diatribe?
by. I don't
Why,
know,
John?
but
Why would we end
we got
this?
5 people watching and 1 like. So I mean, there's an issue there, and you guys should
If you haven't hit
resolve
the
that
if you
issue.
haven't hit the like button yet, you've been here all this time. So that you've been here, um, I
That's
think I
fucked
need
up,
to
man.
sick Ed on you. Ed,
Yeah,
Ed,
get him, Ed.
take care of this, buddy. Take care of it.
Ed, I haven't either. I've never tried Asian before either. I've had like everything else. I have. I've had black, white, Hispanic. I guess I haven't had Middle Eastern. I haven't had Indian,
Sorry to hear
which I
that,
guess is
Ron.
technically Asian.
Ron's feeling under the weather, so he's not having any Asian right now. That stuff usually gives. I could see it would give me the runs if I were sick too.
Yeah, it's true.
What is your favorite Asian?
Wait, my favorite Asian or Seawolf?
Yours.
Oh, mine? If I had to pick one? Hmm. It's a great question, actually. Not something I've ever considered. I would probably go with one of like the third world country ones. You know, like Vietnamese or Laotian or
You know I'm talking about food, right?
no, we're talking about women. Um no, I mean I don't do I
Wait,
mean
does Hawaiian
I
count?
like Chinese food. Ooh,
Does Hawaiian
Hawaiian would be good.
count as Asian? That's Polynesian, though, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
is that
that's
that's
Polynesian.
rooted in Polynesian, which is a
Which is yeah,
subset
Asian.
of Asian? It gets all very
It's
tricky.
Ed said he started on ginger. Well, damn, that's impressive. My first was like she had like some dark like brown hair, almost black. It was weird, but
Wait,
she was hot though.
I have a question for you. Isn't Russia on the Asian continent?
Some of it, or most of it, but it's also mostly empty on that side.
So technically, if you've ever been with a Russian girl, you may have been with an
Well, it
Asian.
depends on where she's from, what part of Russia.
True, but you could swing it on a technicality.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever gone out with anybody Russian that you know of.
yep.
I
See what else is Japanese or Korean for him. Yeah, see that's too like highfalutin, too posh. I want one of those like dirty third world girls.
That's a horrible thing to say, Jake.
Yeah.
That's just a horribly,
Well, you're doing her a
horribly,
favor.
horribly funny
You're
thing to
getting her out
say.
of that. You're getting her out of that horrible country, and she's grateful. I'm just saying.
I have to
Asian
say,
Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But we're talking about continents. We're not talking about like ethnicity. I'm talking about just purely based on continent. Boldivan.
I have to say that the hottest Asian chick ever for me that always jumps to mind when I'm thinking about sexy Asian chicks was from Rambo First Blood Part 2. I think it was Part 2 where he goes in to rescue the guys from the Vietnam prison camp. And
Are you talking about Lucy Liu?
no, it was not Lucy Liu. No, this is way back in the 80s,
'Cause she's
90s.
fucking hot.
Yeah, she's all right. She has her moments. She's one of those that can
She's like Uma Thurman, where like she's either really hot or really,
right,
depending on
right.
what part she's playing.
To be
Yeah,
honest with you, Lucy Liu is better from a distance. When you get too close to her face, like you start to
she's a block
question
away girl. Yeah,
but no, this girl and I would have to look up her name. But anyway, she was his. She was supposed to be Vietnamese, and she was his guide into the country, that kind of thing. Hell, working with the military as an
yeah.
operative for us. But she was beautiful, just and very in a very natural way. Like she was just naturally beautiful, and like just I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like for me, it's always been just that perfect epitome of what a beautiful Asian girl should look like for me. So, but who
Yeah.
knows if she was Korean? I mean, Vietnamese or
Yeah,
not?
she could have been anything.
There's no telling what her nationality. I'd have to look it up. She
Oh,
may have been
dude. Sewell had a Vietnamese Chinese girl? Hell yeah, bro.
for
That's what I'm
dinner,
talking
for
about.
lunch. I mean, what meal was that?
Every meal.
Come on, Dalmer, tell us.
That means he started eating cat too, if you know what I mean, right, guys? Right,
No.
right?
Uh,
Come on, that was kind of funny.
Ed says mine was first initial from every letter of the alphabet. What? I did too.
Oh, his checklist for like girls he wanted to bang.
Mm.
So he wanted to bang 26 girls, one for each letter. I don't know. I mean, I hope you found a Zhao or or Jing or some kind of. But good luck. Holy shit. You might be able to find a Zelda. That'd be interesting. That would be like two checklists right there.
I think my
Fucking a Zelda.
I think the only goal I had, and it was inadvertently, was just to make sure that
Yeah, all right, Ed, calm down.
The Magic Johnson could never one up me.
Yeah.
I was a dirty, rotten, nasty slut once upon a time. The good old days.
Z with Zoe. Gotcha.
Z with Zoe. What? Who?
Oh my God, are you not keeping up, Robert?
Yeah. No, he's look. This
I
like
know he's making shit
this is
up, but
like Trump talking,
come
right?
on.
I'm not buying any of
Yeah.
this. My Z was a Zoe. So I'm just gonna put this out there. You need to look for a trans named Xander. Like his boy name is
What you
Xander,
gotta?
and he'll
You said he.
Javiera is what she'll change her. That'll be her. But that's the only way you're going to find a female with an X name. I think you're going to be hard
That's funny.
pressed.
My S was Savannah, named after the town in Georgia on the
Uh,
border there. Yeah, I'm wondering what the Q was. Quinn, perhaps? I don't know,
Quentin.
but
It might have been Quentin.
oh yeah, his name was Quentin.
Yeah, because I don't think anywhere in here was has he said that.
Yep, I got it. That's the only Q name I know of. The only Q female name that I know of. Quinn.
I noticed that he hasn't anywhere in here said that they were all women. So
That's true. He hasn't said that.
I don't want to assume. So I'm gonna just go ahead with the wide open narrative and assume that it could be either name whenever it comes to a letter. But I'm glad you have a goal. Good luck finding that X. It's Xena.
Oh,
Really,
apparently he already
Goldenrod?
did. Apparently he
Xena.
started on. He's apparently started on the Greek alphabet as well, or some other alphabet.
Oops.
He said, "Oh, I passed 26 a long time ago."
Oh my goodness.
You started over there.
Yeah. Whatever. Sit down, son. Let me have a tell. Let me give you a little bit of knowledge. Let me tap it. I
See, I've
remember.
only done I've only done the one night stand thing a couple of times. I've always been a relationship guy. I've never been like
Jesus.
a,
Oh my God.
just let's fuck tonight and I'll never see you again. That's never really been my deal.
Oh, dude, it seemed like during the '80s, '90s, people were fucking like there was no AIDS, yet there was AIDS. It was like, I mean, that sexual revolution that they said started in the '70s, right? All of that, '60s and '70s. Man, it took hold in the '80s. Like it was madcap. It was stupid crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Like stupid. Literally, it was just some of the most self-destructive behavior I can imagine was going on. I'm like, oh my god, this is just horrible. Carry on. Boom, boom, boom. But anyway, all right, John, let's get the hell out of here. I don't
Fuck
want to
outta
listen to me
here.
talk anymore. So, can you do me a favor? Tell these wonderful, nice folks who may or may not have hit the like button, and you know who you are if you haven't,
That's
uh,
right. Damn it.
to let them know where else they can find us and come chit chat with us.
That's
Because
right. While you're on your way to hit that like button, if you after you hit the like button, go a little further down, and you'll see our description, which has a lot of nifty little things in there, such as a link to our Twitter profile, which is at the GenGapP. It also has a link to our Discord server, which if you're not in there, then I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, but go ahead and get in there. Fix that now. And then there's also freedomscoop.com. We can go down there and you can see us and other less important content creators such as Jay Edgar and Stephen Ignoramus and Wyatt from Roundtable Decision. So make sure you check them out after you check us out, of course, because we're better. And you can also buy our T-shirts there. Since we are better, we have T-shirts. You can buy those over on freedomscoop.com, and you can enter the code GenGap and get 15% off, which is pretty fucking nifty,
Gin Gap,
I would say. Yeah,
Gin Gap.
that's right.
Yeah, so do that. And
Do it.
in the meantime,
Do it.
do it.
Do it.
In the meantime, do it. We'll be back on Monday night for another episode of Shooting the Shit.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll have better news to report than the sad state of affairs that we're in at
Or
this
maybe we'll all
present
be
time.
dead from coronavirus. Who knows?
Whoa, 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 John. Whoa.
I'm just being a realist. We could all be
No,
dead.
no. We'll probably be zombies. Anyway, so be a realist, John. So we'll be back, like I said, Monday night, shooting the shit, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Then we'll be back again next Friday for a regular
Wait,
episode.
what?
Uh,
Boulder Vaughn says Discord is not in the description.
what happened
It
to?
is not. Oh, because we went to the new fucking link thing, the new
Oh, I got update that
stream.
description, John. Fix it, please. I'm sorry, folks.
You fix it. Yeah, we'll
John,
fix it.
John, would you please just be a doll and fix that,
No.
please?
I'll be a deer, but I will never be a doll.
Be a dear. Go in there and fix the description, John. I don't want to
Let's get
have
the
to
fuck out
ask
of
you
here. I'm
again.
pissed. I've got a 2.5 beer piss. I gotta
Oh,
piss.
that's fun. Let's see how long we can drag this out.
Fuck off.
Watch this video of the Niagara Falls while I finish up. All right, we're going to get the hell out of here. Thanks, folks, for showing up. Ron Helton, I hope you're feeling better soon. And Ed, I would say I hope you're feeling better, but I don't think what you've got is able to be fixed. Outside of that, we're going to get the hell out of here. Have yourselves a good night, folks. And peace out to all of you.
Yep, see you guys.
The war will begin.